Hey, hey, hot tubbers. Welcome to the podcast Tub Talk with the Hot Tub Lady. I am your host, Jacque Johnson. And today we have a super special guest, Mr. Ryan Landwier from A&B Accessories. And we are going to bring him on right now. Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
Good day, hot tub lady.
So I'm super excited to have you here. And well, let's just get started real quick. Who are you? Tell me about your business. Tell me about the store, or tell me about your all of the things.
Sure. So I'm a almost 30-year pool and spa veteran. Started out in the commercial pool business way back when, and then moved into retail. Then went into manufacturing. And a year ago, had an opportunity to make an acquisition within the industry of a company called A&B Accessories. A&B is a 35-year-old brand, kind of a household brand relative to steps and supports and tables, and had a very niche kind of custom offering. Started out as a redwood importing company back when hot tubs were still made out of wood. And then when the second owner came into the company back in the early 2000s, he started transitioning the company to where the whole industry was going, which was simulated wood, composite, and then eventually resin plastic material. So that's who we are today. And we're known for kind of being able to build anything you want to complement your hot tub, make it more accessible, make it more usable, and just really overall enhance your backyard experience. So, we love the industry. I love the industry. It's hard to get out of the industry. I
You
thought
don't
I
get
might
out
for
of
a
the
little
industry.
while. Once you're in, you're in.
Once
So
you're in, you can't get out. There is
that's right.
that's for sure. So my history with you, gosh, I met you 20 years ago, I bet.
Yeah.
Um, so, and so you've been around forever, and
Hmm.
you've been, big factory reps. You've done a lot of things. You've been in charge of really major brands. You've done all that, and you did a great job with it. And so you know what the industry needs, and you know what's going on. So
Right.
then A&B showed up, and I've been selling A&B since 2003. My very first location, that's what we did for a mood room, is we had an A&B uh, gazebo, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But that
Yeah.
was my mood room, and so I've
Cool.
been selling them forever. And it was back when it was redwood. I mean, so
Yeah.
that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
And the stuff that you do now is absolutely incredible. I'll pull your website up here in a little bit, but we just one of the locations that I work at, we just completely restocked the store with your product. And
Yeah.
it has totally changed everything. It has lifted the level of the product. It makes the product look better. It's a complete package. And I know you're a custom builder, but one of the things that you do is you do work with a lot of different brands. You'll work with
Yep.
whatever brand that's out there, but
Mhm.
you it's a custom, so everything fits and it looks just absolutely perfect. Tell me a little bit more about that. Tell me why that's important and that's what you do. And
Yeah, I mean, when the company started out, it was all about making two-tier steps out of redwood, and what they found was that people are really trying to complement this investment they've made, right? This wellness investment in their backyard. And even to this day, I still laugh when I see a $15,000 hot tub with $100 plastic step in front of it. I'm just thinking,
we all do
I,
it.
I know everybody's guilty, and there's I wasn't pointing fingers. Is everybody's guilty, and I get sometimes this path of least resistance. But when customers see a choice or they see a visual, right? We're all visual folks, and they see it in front of them, like you're mentioning with your showroom, it changes the entire experience. They find their product more useful. They find their product easier to use, right? Whether it's navigating a cover or having a place to put a drink or having a place to place your towel, you know, they really don't think about that in the heat of the moment of buying a hot tub. It's after the fact. They get it home, they're in it a few times. It's like, where do I put my robe? Where do I put my towel? Where does this drink go? As hot tubbers, we always hear there's never enough drink holders.
Never.
Well, why? But we're only thinking inside this 7x7 or 7.5x7.5 space. Let's think outside of the acrylic, right? And how do we enhance that overall experience outside of the hot tub? So that's where our products really have kind of found their niche, right? And because we are building out of HDPE, which is high density polyethylene, We're very complimentary to what the siding of a hot tub looks like. There's no aluminum, there's no metal, there's no wood. So they're going to last a long time. We're going to be as durable as your hot tub is durable. We're going to be durable. So you're going to have that very same look for the longevity of your hot tub. And I don't think folks really think about that part at the point of sale. They're just so concerned on finding the right hot tub and the right fit and the right, is this going to have all the benefits that I'm looking for in a hot tub? They're laser focused inside that acrylic space. And as sellers starting to look outside that space, there's just so much opportunity to, again, increase average sale price, there's a lot of opportunity outside of it too. So the accessory business is a big business. And being on this side of the fence now, like I was always aware of it
Mm-hmm.
as a manufacturer or as rep, like on the peripheral, but holy cow, there's a lot of accessories. And A&B found its niche years ago and has now grown that niche into kind of a more household name. And yes, we do custom. That is always going to be us. But our opportunity for growth is simplification and standardization of some of our more popular SKUs and really get some velocity out of our factory.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, what I love is how well you've matched up. So when the customer comes in and they see the product, and in fact, you know what? I'm just going to pull up the website right now. So I've got your website right here, and
Cool.
for those of you that want to check this out, Ryan does have a website, and it is I have it. Where did I put it? It's ambaccessories.com, and
Yep.
you spell out the word and.
Yep.
The links are in the show notes, so be sure to check that out there. But for those of you just listening to the podcast, this is just a beautiful step. The bar, the seats, the whole thing. So this is the picture. It's on your main screen. I don't know if you can see the screen or not there, Ryan. But
Yep.
um, when people see that, it looks like it's a whole package, and it
Yeah.
looks so good when the customer comes home and sees that. And then, like you said, when you have a $15,000-$20,000 hot tub and you've got that $100 step in front of it, you do something like this, and then it just looks like a total investment, and it looks like and it's not this major project when it comes to building
No.
it in your backyard. I mean, it's very
No.
simple to put together once you have it. um,
I think we scare people away with the word custom at sometimes because they're like, oh, custom, man, am I going to, if you've done custom saunas or you've done custom anything in your business if you're a dealer, retailer, one of our sellers, you just kind of go, it's going to be a lot of time and effort. But we build everything very modular. So, when we ship it to a dealer or a customer, it's 80% assembled. Like
mhm.
we're not going to make you go through the headache of assembling custom stuff, even though we build custom stuff. So there should be nothing there. I think a lot of it too, and I've heard you say this before too, Jacque, is just it's the pre-planning a little bit. If you're showing it at the time of sale, if you're talking about it at the time of sale, the concrete's going to be poured correctly. When they're envisioning what their hot tub's going to look like in their backyard, they're starting to take into consideration not just the footprint, but the overall footprint, right? Adding an extra 2 or 3 feet on the perimeter to make everything more accessible, to have these options available to them. And when given that option, what we hear time and time again is customers are going to take it.
And they do take it, and once you see it, when you see it, these pictures don't do it justice. I mean, it's beefy, heavy, quality stuff, and when you see it, you're like, oh, yeah, I got to have that. And
Right.
sometimes it's a little more money than you thought. I mean, just because you have in mind that, oh, they're going to throw in a step when they
Right.
that this is a whole package. Now, if you look at something like this with the 2-tier step and the bar and the seats and all that around it, then it's a whole piece. It's a whole
Yeah.
section of your patio. It's just not this
Yeah.
box of water sitting in your backyard. And
Right.
and you've been in the industry, so you know how important it is to have things like cover lifters and all of that. And you work with all that. So
Absolutely.
when like you see this bar on here, you can make something like that work with the cover lifter. I mean,
You bet.
you know how to do that, and you know what a customer needs to be a happy hot tubber.
Yeah.
And so it does. I mean, it works incredibly well. Um,
Oh. we've talked for years about ease of access, right? And sometimes customers come in with this grand vision of what their backyard is going to look like, and the hot tub's 40 feet from the nearest door, and they think they're going to go walking out there in the winter in their swimsuit or whatever or less, and they're going to jump in and have this great soaking experience, and they're going to get out and truck 40 feet back to the door. Like, that's not accessible. And that's almost the way we approach this. If you think about all the different ways you can utilize your hot tub for entertainment, for relaxation, having these complementary pieces going around it just enhances the experience. Backyard design and being thoughtful of your backyard layout, we're seeing so much money put into the backyard. This has been like a trend for the last, since the recession. Really, we came out of the recession. It's just been this upward trajectory of backyard design. People are spending 50, 100, $200,000 on these backyard projects because it's become an extension of their home. And so when you start thinking about, yeah, our product's a little bit more expensive, absolutely. But when they see how complementary it is to everything else they want to do back there, patio furniture, fire pits, barbecues, it all goes together.
Hmm.
And again, do you want to see that little single 2-tier plastic step that bows in the middle? Or do you want to have this nice complementary design all the way around? And so it all has to be part of that package when you're looking at the backyard as a whole. But yes, to your point, we are brand agnostic. We don't work with any particular brand over the other. Based on corner radiuses and overall design of a hot tub, we can work with any cover lifter, any size hot tub, doesn't matter. Even all the way up to swim spas. Swim spas is one of our fastest growing categories right now because the number of calls we get where somebody's like, yeah, I just got this swim spa delivered and it's 52 inches tall and I don't know how to get in it. I'm using a step ladder.
Right.
If
And
I
that's
had
a
a
big
nickel,
big
yeah,
piece of the swim spa industry is what are you going to do for a step? How are you going to get in there? And you have to sell that with the swim spas. You have to those swim spa owners out that are out there. I mean, that's such a big piece of that is how are you going to be able to get in there and make it look good? Because you don't
yeah,
want to have a step ladder sitting out there. I mean,
that's right.
and yeah, I'm shocked. I am shocked how many people will actually start with a step ladder. I mean,
It's nuts. The number of calls that we get at our shop for people are like, "Hey, I just got this delivered," and of course, then they didn't think about it. Their concrete is only 3 or 4 inches wider than the footprint of the swim spa itself, and I'm like, you're using a ladder to get in. Like, this is a recipe for disaster. And again, they're tall. I'm not a tall person, so I think about people trying to get these huge covers
oh,
off.
for sure.
Right, the nemesis, unfortunately, of the swim spa industry is that big cover. Okay, there are some good solutions out there for that. Again, you got to be able to reach it. You got to be able to access it. And I wish that was talked about more at the point of sale because it's just not talked about enough. And again, we love it. We take those calls all day long, but holy moly, it is just definitely not. There's not enough conversation happening at the point of sale about it.
For sure. And so I've got your gallery pulled up right now, and
Okay.
where I'm showing pictures, and I'm actually at the swim spa section with, just these little decks, and like you build around the cabanas, you think about that, it's fantastic, and it looks so good. I mean, the product that you do is absolutely amazing, and like this two-tier deck system that you built, and there's a hot tub on. I mean, it's just awesome,
Yeah.
and I can't explain enough. And when we were talking about corner radiuses, you got this. I think that was Dimension One with the big.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, it was.
I mean, you
those
got this.
those templates have lived on.
There's no way anybody could come up with that. I mean,
No.
so if you guys are looking to complete your backyard package, check out this company. I'm telling you, A&B Accessories, they'll figure it out for you, and it looks absolutely amazing. And so, let's talk about your product lineup. What all do you sell at this point?
So, I mean, our real focus predominantly, or at least our highest runners, are anything step related, anything table related, anything that can go adjacent to your hot tub that's going to make it more functional is kind of our wheelhouse. But to your point, we build decks, we build platforms, we build things to hang your towel on, we build planter boxes, we build. I mean, that's really hot tub focused stuff is where we're at. Historically, as a company, um, we've been in the barbecue business before, which has kind of been overrun with non-custom things.
Hmm.
So that's really not a focus for us anymore. But relative to the hot tub and swim spa, that is really right now 80% of our business. And to your point, every hot tub is built different. Every manufacturer's got different specs. So we're constantly kind of adjusting to making sure that if a manufacturer changes a mold design, that we have a product ready for them. Dimension One has historically had very interesting curves to all of their exterior, which we've had to build templates for, but we can do. To my knowledge, we're the only ones doing it. So we get a lot of those customers calling saying, "Hey, I have this 2-tier step, but there's a massive 3-inch gap between my top step and me getting in." No problem. We can take care of that for you. So that is a heavy focus for us. As we get bigger and as the industry kind of rebounds here and normalizes post COVID, we're going to stretch our bandwidth here a little bit and get into some new categories. So we're excited about that.
I'm excited to hear about that when you're ready to start announcing it. And I want to talk about the planter boxes for just a minute.
Okay.
Um, if you were looking for a way to, if you were looking for a way to really dress up your hot tub, planter boxes are it. I mean, it's and even if you do fake plants in them, but they are. I have people comment on mine all the time. They're like, "Oh, it looks so good," but it's the plants. It's that's all it is the plants. So, and it's just a good way. And so you tie it in though, so it matches the siding of the hot tub, or it matches the step, and it just goes really well. So the planter boxes, I
Yeah.
think, don't get enough credit personally. People
The
just don't.
biggest thing is you got this box in your backyard. Okay. I'll just use that as a universal term for now. It's a box. You got this box in your backyard and it's, 36, 38, sometimes 40 inches tall. It kind of stands out,
A
right?
little bit.
So without dressing it up and kind of making it part of your overall landscape in your backyard design, it can look like a sore thumb in a weird kind of way. Now, compliments to the hot tub industry, they've come a long way with making product look so much better than it used
Hmm.
to back in the day. So it doesn't stand out as much. But if we can use different depths and heights, like our planter box is slightly higher than our step, and our table is even higher than our steps in the planter box. So you have these varying designs. It kind of helps break up the eye a little bit and it doesn't make this thing just stand out. And to your point, whether you're using it as a planter box, whether you're using it as a drink holder, whether you're using it as a towel holder, we've seen planter boxes get used for everything under the sun.
Hmm.
And so they're just a nice addition to, again, accessorize around and really complement the design of the overall backyard.
Oh, and it totally does. And I love the bars. I sat in my hot tub this morning before we got on, and I was telling you that I'm going to have to get some product because I get a lot of comments on what's going on with my hot tub. But I am in the process of getting a new hot tub. I'll stay tuned. You guys will figure out what that's all about. But I have to have a bar. I mean, the
Yeah.
100% have to have a bar when that happens. It's
Yeah.
um,
Listen, hot tubs, when I was on the manufacturing side, every single mold design meeting I was in, if there wasn't a heated debate over drink holders, it was already not going to be a success. Like it was the most heated thing about how do you contour, how do you fit, where do you fit, what size cup do you fit? Is it for a wine glass or is it for a beer or whatever? It doesn't matter. It's just like there's never enough cup holders. And I always laughed as a hot tubber and then as a person designing hot tubs.
right.
It's wet. They're angled funny. It's that close to the water where you're about to have a disaster of water care, right?
Yep.
Like trying to get red water out of a hot tub. Enjoy that process. Um, you know, like it's
I'm pretty
just
good at it.
so. Yeah, well, there you go. You're a pro. Now, can we just go like 4 inches the other way in complete safety? Put your drink right there, flat, dry surface for anything, and it's just like why not have a bar? Why not have more exterior accessories?
Well, and it just makes so much sense. And I've been doing this for a really long time. I've been in the industry forever, and I've sold thousands of hot tubs. And I will say that is one of the first things that people ask about. And I sold one brand that's no longer in business anymore, but they actually had a cup holder built inside of the hot tub, and you would set your beer in there. And it sold so many hot tubs. I sold so many hot tubs because of that drink holder. It was the
Right.
drink holder that sold it. The funny thing was is the customer would show up, 3 months later, be like, how you love that hot tub? And they're like, it's like, oh gosh, I should have done this one instead because it fit me better. And my beer just gets hot sitting in that drink holder because it was actually in the water.
Recessed,
And
yeah.
but it was funny because I did sell a lot of hot tubs because of that one particular feature. And again, if we just start putting these bars and these tables alongside these hot tubs, and people can see that they can go with any hot tub, and it's a quality built product like what you have, because there's a lot of chintzy stuff out there. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
if you go to Amazon or whatever, there, I had somebody literally just email me yesterday. It's like, should I buy this table or not? And I'm like, no, I don't think I would buy it because it's not going to last. You have to take it off every time you put the cover
Yeah.
on, and all the things, and you've thought all the way through that. So it's a very functional product that you guys have to see it. That's would be my thing. And I mean, so your main, you want people to go to their local retailer and buy the product. That's your plan.
Totally. Yep. Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, we all buy with our eyes, right? I mean, when you can show them a fine assortment of hot tubs, right? Most retailers have figured out showing one or two is not the recipe for success.
right.
You got to have an assortment, right? You got to have a price bandwidth that they can choose from, and some sort of spectrum. And why not have all the other stuff there too? I mean, if you've sold any accessory as a hot tub seller, try to sell a cover lifter without showing it. Best of luck. You're right. Oh, and by the way, it's $500 or $600 or thousands of dollars if you're going to the automated ones. If you don't show them how cool it is or how it works, they'll never buy it. Our products are no different than that. So ideally, we do. We definitely want people to go to a retailer and see it. We know that's the recipe for success on that side. But as we grow the company, we know there's a lot of holes out there where people live in some peculiar places and they don't have a dealer right there, or they ended up with some peculiar brand of hot tub that we need to do some research on to help them get what they want. Um, our new website design was completely laid out to help make the online shopping experience where we're talking to customers one to one through that. And believe it or not, a lot of our conversations start with a request from our website. And our first thing we always ask for is, we want you to send us a couple pictures of your backyard. Let's see what we're working with. And we can undoubtedly provide some kind of guidance and consultation relative to their setup, right? And again, this works with having our production manager who's been around our company for 35 years. He's a day one employee. You got somebody like me who's been in the industry on every side of it. There's probably just things that we're going to see that as a consumer or even a dealer, you might not see the first
Mhm.
time out. And so we can provide some suggestions based on what we do, because believe it or not, every situation is slightly unique, right? It's not like there's just a perfect 10 by 10 pad in every backyard. We're taking into consideration your landscape. We're taking into consider your weather. We're taking into consider your electrical. I mean, we're taking into consideration all of that.
And you do an incredible job. And it's
Thank you.
um I've again, I've been selling this particular brand forever, and I'm super excited that you're now there to take it to the next level, because
Cool.
I know you very well. I know where you've been and what you're capable of doing, and how you're going to grow this particular brand, and it already has taken off. I mean, you already have started doing things, and I think you're going to see more and more of this in your local retail shop. I'm in the middle of South Dakota, and that's pretty desolate. There's,
Yeah.
and we have a couple of retailers, right? Well, I don't know. You might even have 5 or 6 retailers in South Dakota. So
Yeah.
you're getting out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We've expanded our footprint significantly since last fall. As I came into this when the market was retracting from the COVID craze. Everybody wants a hot tub because we're all stuck at home, right? And now the industry is kind of normalizing this year. We're all still trying to figure out what that is. But one of the opportunities I saw, on the company side of it, was several things. That's what attracted me to this acquisition. But then as we grow our footprint, it was just going to come with horizontal growth, right? We're going to get more out of our really good retailers that we have in the vertical growth, but there's so many dealers. I mean, South Dakota has 5, 6, 7 of them, right? North Dakota's got, look at 50 states, and everybody's got a lot of dealers, especially in the more populated. Again, being brand agnostic, we could really spread our footprint wide. And some of the most complimentary calls I've had in the last couple of months are people are like, why didn't I start selling your stuff sooner? They're
Mm-hmm.
ordering it. Then in their mind, they're gambling a little bit like, oh, I'm finally going to show A and B. I'm just not sure people are going to pay for that. 2 weeks later, they're calling like, I need that exact set made the
Mm-hmm.
exact same way. And how fast can you get it here? Because we can't keep it on the floor. And that's not a bragging thing. It's again, the old adage of if you show it, they'll buy it.
Yep.
And we have definitely played right into that hand. So we're trying to get more and more on our showroom floors out there.
And the thing is, like, you sell the surrounds, where you go all the way around the hot tub, and again, you got some place to put your beverage on every seat, and that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome, and it looks so great. And I remember the first time I bought one of those, I was like, oh, I'll be stuck with this forever as a hot tub owner, and this was decades ago, and I was like, I will never sell this, and it it turns around. It doesn't. Not everybody's going to buy them, but 3 out of 10 are.
Yeah, minimally. Yeah, if you're showing it, I mean, I have some really small dealer customers for the retailers out there, really small dealer customers. Maybe they sell 50 hot tubs a year,
Hmm.
right? They got a good little business going. And I sometimes giggle at I know what brand they sell. So maybe their average sale price is $10,000, maybe 12 on the high end.
Hmm.
But they're selling $2,000 and $3,000 around with their $10,000 hot tub. And I think one of the things that's happening in this market modification of buyers, right, as everybody was recession worried, was what's going to happen with my money, what's going to happen with the economy. We were definitely seeing less buyers, but the buyers that were buying didn't have less money. They're just being more conscientious of how they spend it.
Correct.
So it's a justification, right? Every time, hey, do I really need a hot tub? Am I really going to use this? Is it really going to make me feel better? Am I going to sleep better? All those things that we try to push the wellness messaging of hot tubbing, they're justifying that. I'm part of that justification process. Do I really need $2,000 in bars and steps and all this? They have the money. If you're showing it, if you're talking about it, if you're making it part of the sales presentation, they will justify. If you're holding up my brochure and you're trying to say, hey, we have some really nice steps, they're, $1,200, or I can get you these for 200, good luck. It's hard to justify that when you can't touch it and feel it. Go stand on that $100 plastic step, then go stand on our stuff. They will not make that leap. So if you're a retailer or a seller out there and you're trying to figure out, is A and B going to sell for me? It will not just sell in the brochure. Matter of fact, we don't really want you selling it that way.
Hmm.
It's not going to do us justice. It's certainly not going to do you justice. So try bringing it in. Try giving people the choice. When they have the choice, the buyers that are buying don't think they're tapping out at that $10,000 sale. They have the money. They're just being conscientious buyers saying, I don't know if I really want to spend 18 or 16 on a high end hot tub. It doesn't mean they don't have the money to do it.
Right.
So the upsell is definitely there if you're willing to take the risk on showing it.
Um, so what I could tell you on as far as a hot tubber goes, or as a retailer goes, if you have more of this product on the floor. So I'm doing marketing for several companies right now, and I have one store that actually we went all in. We've got the whole gamut. We went through. We got the bars, we got the stairs, we got the stools, we got the decks around the swim spas, and you walk in and it's a whole nother layer. It's That store just looks totally like we're in business. We are going to sell you a hot tub today, and
Right.
you are going to love the hot tub, and the customers are loving it. So, I mean, it's not one of these things you can. If as I'm speaking to the retailers here, it's not one of these things you can dabble in. You can't put on three two-tier steps on the floor and think that you're going to sell all the stuff from there.
No.
That is definitely not the case. You do need to invest in it and do it, and but it's dresses up your showroom, but it also is inventory that you can sell. So
Yes.
That's one way to look at it. For the consumers out there that are listening, I mean, Ryan, this is a quality product, and if you don't have a local retailer, you can definitely check out his website. Again, that's and B accessories.com. You can
Mhm.
definitely check that out there, and the links are in the show notes. But you'll work with them. You'll help them get what they need to be. It might be. Would you put them in touch with the dealer at that point, or will you
Yeah.
just help them directly?
I mean, we're always going to listen. We're going to be our best salespeople, right? We know our product inside and out. We know the industry. We know products. We know everything. So we certainly like to start the process. If they have a local retailer, though, that we can direct them to, hopefully to go see it, right?
Hmm.
Ideally, that's what we want to do. We are going to push them in that direction every single time, right? Because again, the dealer's going to deliver their hot tub. They're going to put the steps together. They're going to do the whole gamut of quality white glove service for this customer. We want our stuff to be right along part of that package. That's going to be the best overall experience. If it is just a consumer and they don't have a local retailer and we can still help them out, sure, we're going to do that. But we have our footprint's pretty wide. We generally have a dealer in every single market out there that we need to have a dealer in. So outside of the super obscure ones, we're going to try and direct them, to a local retailer to touch it and feel it.
And when you see it, I mean, it's so incredible. I know I was at the Hot Springs Dealer Conference this year, and I that's where you and I kind of hooked up again, and you were showing the new stuff, and you were around all the swim spas, and it was like,
Yeah,
wow, I got to get
yeah.
this on the showroom. I have to get this on the showroom.
Well,
So,
just like you guys did with your deck and your one showroom, I had a dealer customer on the West Coast in January. We started the conversation. They pulled the trigger in June. We got the deck shipped to them in July. And he called me yesterday and said, I had a customer that came in. We actually sold them one of your side entry swim spa steps. They came in, they saw the new deck, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
mhm,
And the customer goes, keep the steps, man. I want that. And they ordered the exact replica of what was on the showroom floor of that deck
that's
for his
awesome.
own backyard. And so the power of being able to see it, right? The power of kind of going that extra level. That dealer, I mean, he was giggling as he was telling me this is what he needed to order. And he's like, it hasn't even been here a month yet. And we've already sold one. So
That's
wise
awesome.
investment. And again, it does go back to if customers see it, it's not that we weren't selling those decks when he bought that side entry step, but that's all they were showing.
Hmm.
Now he comes back, sees that deck around it, says, you know what? Keep the step. I'll take the deck instead.
Right. And and once you see the deck, you have to. And especially, and again, you already kind of made this point, but for me, when I was selling the swim spas, I was too short to open and close the covers. I couldn't do it. So for me, I would actually need a surround so that I could um, get all the way around it. So, and then with these decks, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The swim spa category is going to be one of our best opportunities for continued growth as well. I mean, there's just so many nuances of owning a swim spa. They're great products. I completely understand why people buy them. I think they have found their place in our market, right? And they're not going anywhere.
they are not,
Um,
no.
but there's so much more that can be done on the accessory side to make them a more consumer friendly product for perpetuity. I think there's a lot of excitement in the beginning about how you're going to use it, and then the reality of the covers and the height and trying to make it look good in your backyard become very real things, and they all need to be thought out. And some consumers do a fantastic job at it, others not so much.
Right.
And so we see a lot of opportunity in that marketplace.
Well, and you're going to do well with that. I mean, if you go check out the gallery, you've already done just some fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
What's your favorite product? What's the favorite product that you make and sell? And
We started making last year, and it's literally just it's becomes 60% of what we're building. It feels like these days is wider steps. And when I say wider, I'm talking about the depth. Okay, front to back. So a two board step is kind of like the standard width out there, 11 inches or so. So each of the tiers you're standing on is 11 inches. And as we started to think about this more and more with our demographic getting older, the environments that we're in, and just overall user friendliness. Why? Who came up with this thing that hot tub steps had to be so narrow and so hard to step on? So we started building a 3 board top or a 4 board top step, and it has taken off like we just could have never imagined. For a nominal upcharge, people to see so much more functionality from that step. So hey, we'll build you a standard 2-tier step all day long, but for a little bit more, go 3-board, go 4-board top. And I'm starting to work directly with some of the manufacturers out there who have all kind of caught on to this and just said, that is a no-brainer. Why do steps have to be so small and narrow? It just
Right.
doesn't make sense. So I put a post up one time on Facebook about, the average foot size in North America for a male is like 8.5 inches and female is like 5.5 inches. And, the standard step is 11 inches or not even 10 and a half. Just think about that footprint you're trying to step on when you're wet, cold,
Right.
dark. Like
Icy,
it's just
slippery.
oh, and by the way, we made it really narrow for you. It's only 30 inches, wide. So good luck landing on that. Like, as if we don't complain about internal hot tub steps not being big enough already. Why are we, making the problem worse on the outside? We can do whatever we want to do. So that has hands down become one of my favorite products to build.
Oh, for sure. And it looks sharp too.
Yeah.
And then you do the piano key steps as well. Are those still really big popular? Or?
Definitely, piano keys has been around forever. I would actually say as manufacturers get to more horizontal paneling and wider paneling, our lateral steps have started to kind of supersede the piano key steps just because they complement the siding that the hot tub manufacturers have chosen a little bit better. So we're actually building more lateral, and but gosh, we still get, especially when you're starting to deal with the radius corners and things like
Mhm.
that, lateral can be a little bit more challenging. So we're working through some of those kind of design nuances that we'd like to improve on.
So, and then one of the things that I love, and when I get my new set, it's going to be I'm going to have it the handrail. So
Yeah,
it's a sturdy, solid handrail, and it just looks like it belongs. It's not. It doesn't look like an afterthought, because a lot of the
right.
handrails that are out there definitely look like afterthoughts. And the beauty of
Yep.
the handrail on the step is you don't have to take it apart to get into the work on the equipment. It's fantastic. So
Yep. Yep. Yeah, especially our heavy duty handrail where we actually inset it into the step itself. You're putting some massive bolts in there to hold it on to. It's got a big 3x3 post. So again, as our demographics, aging in who we're selling hot tubs to, we need to be very cognizant of, safe entry and exit from a wet, slippery device.
hmm
And we need to make sure that, they got something to hold on to. Their feet have a nice place to land, where there's some grip on that step. It's not, we're not making it more dangerous than it has to be. And I think that's where our products, again, varying height, heavy duty handrails, we're really going to think all that through depending on who we're talking to and working with to make sure that not only does it look good, that's super important, but it's also very safe and easy to use.
so well, and it looks awesome. It's
Yeah.
one of the things that I'm going to say, and that's probably the biggest thing that you've got going for you is your product looks amazing.
Hmm.
You've definitely got the design down to that, and you coming from the other side of it, you coming from a hot tub manufacturer, you've done a
Yeah.
really good job. I don't think you offer every single color that's out there, but you definitely offer complementing colors, and it just you're keeping your SKUs down, but you're also making it look good.
Yep. Well, now as a business owner, the SKUs are always too many. I can tell you
Right.
that much. We have probably over 5,000 SKUs in our system.
Oh, geez.
We do offer 12 colors. We have found a real liking to people liking the two-tone look. I would say that's probably one of the biggest things that we've gotten some traction with in 2023. And I only see that getting more popular as hot tub styles change a little bit.
hmm
If I
For
could get every
sure.
manufacturer in a room and we could agree on a corner radius and a color, it would be the best thing that ever happened to me as a business owner, but that'll never happen.
No, that's
Um,
not going to happen.
no, but as we have, 12 colors, listen, hot tub siding has changed too. It's not just about being brown, one brown and everybody goes with the same thing. Manufacturers are trying to find their differentiation in unique profiles, unique colors, unique everything. And we are constantly trying to keep up with what's happening there. Understanding how that cycle works, again, coming from my history, makes that a lot easier. I know the manufacturers are working with. I keep my ear kind of close to the ground on what's changing, when they're changing, how they're changing. so that we are kind of running alongside them. Um, and I think color is a very subjective thing too, right? I've seen people pick. I have a brown hot tub and they pick gray siding because they want something to accent it.
Right.
Hot tub covers are changing. So now you have the profile of the hot tub, you have the corner of the hot tub, and you have the cover of the hot tub. And in some manufacturers, those are three different colors.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to match it perfectly. We have to complement it. And again, color being very subjective to the eye and your overall backyard design, we're never going to be dead on. Again, I'm using HDPE, which is polyethylene. Hot tub manufacturers are using polystyrene typically. So they're two totally different plastics on top of that. They're similar, they're very similar, but they are different. And so
Well, you match
trying
that
to
up
be
pretty well for the if that's the case.
yeah, to be exact match, impossible. And if you look at some of the other inexpensive steps out there, blow molded, injection molded, they can't make that plastic match either. It's going to be close, but it's never going to be perfect. So we're kind of all playing in the same arena, and we just need to be very complementary. So that is our focus.
Well, and it looks good. And the two tone, I think that, I honestly think it going back to it showing or that showing it sells it, you started introducing that. You started bringing
Mm-hmm.
in the two tone when you were showing up at shows and more on the retail side of things.
Yeah,
And we all love it. And so now we're showing it and it looks
yeah,
good. And I think that's why that's going. But it it looks higher in being two tone. You definitely
yeah.
know that it's a custom product and
Every
it's
single day we get the question, how much more is it to go with the Lux look? That's what we call ours, right? If you want to go Lux, all that means is we're going to add a black base to whatever top board you choose. And every single person thinks, well, what's the upcharge for Lux? There's no upcharge. We offer the same for simplicity. It's the same price across the board, but it really does enhance the look. And listen, manufacturers are going to these bigger toe kicks, right? The base of the hot tub. They used to be these little tiny,
mm-hmm.
black base around it. Now they're 4 inches or 6 inches. They're going to black covers. They're going to black corners. So the black siding of your step just kind of pulls all of that in,
Right,
and it's
kind of
just a
makes it
beautiful
one.
accent.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yep.
Kind,
Yep.
and
So
that's brilliant on your part because you are correct. More and more that's coming. We've had a few brands that have gone to black covers only. That is your option. You get a black
yep.
cover or you get a black cover, and
Yeah.
so you need something to pull that together. You need, and
Yeah.
whether it's a step or a planter or a deck or a surround or any of those things, you just need something to pull that black together because you may have
Yeah.
a gray cabinet or a real light cabinet, and th- the contrast really does look really sharp when you put that together. So I
Yeah.
think that's amazing.
I totally agree with you. I just I see a lot of people, just again, they're trying to look for that kind of blended look in their backyard, and having something that is just one color is almost a little like it's a little overwhelming, right? And then the grays don't quite match. So everything seems to blend together when you're doing, the black as a complementary color to it. So I see that getting, I mean, it's already, I don't know. It's been one of the best things we did in 2023. I see it growing in 2024.
I
I
agree.
also think that it's allowed us to offer more colors, right? Some of like the more obscure colors like a mahogany or a tan that were slowly getting phased out by manufacturers, but are still definitely prominent enough out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting those calls and we're like, we just don't have that. What it's allowed us to do is bring in one profile of that one color that we can now do the top tread with and then complement it in black. So it's actually allowed us to offer more colors
Right.
than having to try and reduce those SKUs and say, listen, we just can't offer that anymore because there's so few. So we've heard from dealers anyway that they really love that. So I think we're going to continue to see traction in that area.
Yeah, I think it's going to do really, really well for you, and I'm excited for you on that. So, if you could wish any new hot tub owner to buy your accessories? So, I'm a brand new
Mm-hmm.
hot tub owner, and I need the best accessories. What are you going to recommend to me?
There's always two things that are just kind of a no-brainer to us. Number one, go with the widest step possible. So if your hot tub is, you know, not 84 inches, 87 inches, 89 inches, right? Let's go standard. 89 inches, front to back, nice square. And you say, I just really want a beautiful step for that. We're always going to take into that radius corner. Okay. So
Hmm.
let's say it's a 10-inch radius corner. We're going to build you a 69-inch step that's going to cover the full front, and it's going to look beautiful. It really hides and adds to the overall depth of the project. So go with a wider step. You can never go wrong with a wider step. And number two is a bar or table on one or both sides. Again, place to put your towel, place to put your drinks, place to put your cell phone. Put a Bluetooth speaker if you don't have music on your hot tub. Table and wider step are always the two things we're going to recommend right off the get-go. And then it really just kind of comes down to, the kind of the secondary things, a storage bench. Hey, I want a place to keep my water care products when I'm out there. I don't want to have to carry them in and out. I don't want to keep them in the house. We make a beautiful storage bench that you can put all that stuff in, tie in that same color scheme. Some people even use it as a step. So we have a storage option as well. So I would say big step number one, table number two, and storage capability as number three.
Yeah, that's gonna really. I'm picturing that in my own backyard right now. Is what I'm doing. Is I'm like, yeah, I could do that, and I could do that, and yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that storage because I got a little cheap thing right now that I could do all of that, and it would look really really sharp, and it
There you
just
go.
it elevates your backyard
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much.
And
And
again, is we want to make hot tubbing as easy as possible, right? We all know that if it's easy to access and they're seeing the benefits of the wellness from it, they're going to use it more often. And you don't get the benefits of a hot tub that just sits back there and runs. You have to use it. So getting in and out, making it easier, having a place to put your phone, easier, having a place to store your water care products, easier. If a hot tub is complicated, people don't use it. So we have to make it as easy as possible for them to become regular hot tubbers. And when they become regular hot tubbers, they become passionate about it and they tell other people. And
right,
that's where the industry continues to get traction. Our products can be a wellness product, but you have to use them.
you do have to use them.
And so, listen, I'm guilty of that. I lived in Southern California. The weather was always perfect. And my hot tub was in the corner of my backyard. Not a good design, right? When I lived in Minnesota, it was right out the door because there was
Right.
no choice. It was life or death. So
Yes.
you're not going to hot tub and run across the yard in the winter when it's 10 below out. But I would sneak out there. Didn't even matter. It was accessible. So we want to create more hot tubbers, and our products help complement it. They make it easier to use. They make it more enjoyable, and we know we've got a hot tubber for life then.
So, I do have a comment. We have Robert Buckwald. I don't know if this is good afternoon from hot and rainy Florida. I have a quick question about the material that you use regarding fading and hold up to chemicals.
Yep, perfect question. So that is one reason we have stuck with HDPE, high density polyethylene, again for the plastic nerds out there. HDPE is a very weather resistant product. A lot of times people ask us, well, is it composite? Is it, and they think about Trex decking or something that's more, familiar with their composite world. And the downside of that type of stuff is it has wood fillers inserted into it, right? And it's also much lighter. So if you go look at the side of a Trex deck, you'll see their intricate design. You'll see the wood fibers and you'll see the cutouts. All of that is a moisture barrier, right? Or a non-moisture barrier where you're going to get intrusion of water. HDPE is a solid resin product. So it's going to be extremely stable to UV. It's going to be extremely stable and hot and cold. You're not going to get the warping, the bending, and the twisting that you can get with other composite materials. So the longevity of it has come a long way. Um, Polystyrene, like I was mentioning before, the hot tub siding is made out of, is very similar, but it's a little bit more brittle. So for steps and tables, we try to stay away from that side of the plastic world. And so HDP is where it's at. We sell all over the world. We sell in Arizona where it's 110, 120 consistently. We sell down in Florida where your moisture and your humidity can be just an absolute disaster for some products. So when you're building with 100% HDPE, which is a recycled plastic, right? Commercially grade recycled plastic, we have very strong performance over the longevity of ownership of your product.
So that's awesome. So how does it do in the cold? Because I have had some steps in the past
Mm-hmm.
um, that were beautiful, but the second you had to move them in the freezing cold, they would snap because they're frozen. Um,
Yep.
how
Yep.
does this do with that?
Even better. Again, that's what you're talking about right there. I can already see. I already know what step you're talking about. That's typically a polystyrene step, okay, or something less expensive, right? I mean, injection molded or again blow molded are much lighter, thinner plastics. They use a lot of air, which makes them lighter, which makes them more affordable. Totally get it, and you can still get some really good structural integrity out of them. But durability wise, whether it's a snow load or it's the freezing and the cracking, HDPE is going to be super resistant to that. It's actually almost it's more soft material,
Okay.
where styrene is a really brittle, hard plastic. HDPE is a very soft, so you don't. It's almost impossible to crack it. Matter of fact, I can't tell you if we've ever had one step come back that's been cracked due to something like that. Where the other products will get more brittle. So I always think about like a kid in your backyard with a soccer ball or a football, and that thing just comes slamming into it. HDPE, you're never going to have to worry about that thing breaking. It's impossible. It's on the softer side of the resins, so it's very durable in nature.
So, and that's awesome. And I've been selling this particular product for 20 years, even back when it was real wood. I don't think I've ever seen one I've ever had an issue with ever. I don't know if
Yeah,
I've ever had a warranty claim on A&B product ever. Um, what is
it's
the warranty? Just out of curiosity.
we do a limited liability warranty, so for lifetime limited liability, and really, it's all we're trying to protect against is more misuse and abuse. That's really the only thing that can happen to it. We get people that will install products sometimes in a peculiar environment, but for the most part, it's pretty easy to stand behind a product that is meant to last. It was meant for the outdoors. You know, I think people are probably more familiar with HDPE than they realize. If you're in any public park, public, camping facility, all of those tables and chairs and trash cans and a public pool that's got a towel receptacle, 9 times out of 10 that is HDPE. And so, any high end resort, we do have a hospitality division. So we build massive umbrella cabinets and things like that are, down in Florida, down in, Texas, hot heat, humidity that just hold up really well. So this stuff is built for the outdoors. It's really not even an indoor product. It is meant for the outdoors.
So, and again, I've been selling it for decades, and I don't think I've ever had
Yeah.
one anything. I don't.
Yeah.
There's never been this doesn't match. There's never been I'm missing a piece when it comes to putting it together. There's never been any of that in all the years that I've sold the product. So it's got a long history of quality.
Yeah. We,
It's
we like to tell people
more
that
forgiving.
our step will generally outlive your hot tub.
I would
Meaning you're
agree
going
with
to be
that.
replaced. Yeah, you're going to replace your hot tub before you replace your step. That's unequivocal. And I'm not saying the hot tub's going to fall apart, whether it's a design change or you just want to upgrade. 10 years down the road, 15. Guess what? Our step will still be looking just like it did before. So, yeah, very UV resistant, very weather resistant, and it was built for all climates. I mean, we sell these all over the world. We have a China importer. We sell to Europe. Our base is North America, but we do export product all over the place. So
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited for what you've got going on, and I've known you forever, and it's exciting to
thank you.
hear, to have this hour-long conversation about how this company's going for you. And it's you guys, if you're looking for some stuff, Ryan is the guy. I've known him forever, and he does what he says and says what he does. And this is a quality company, and you are gonna be nothing but happy if you get his product. I promise you that his customer service is A+. So
I appreciate that greatly. As I was telling you not long ago, I come from a world class manufacturer, and that was instilled in everybody that worked there. It didn't matter what you did. So I've implemented that same mentality with my smaller team. Right, we're much smaller. We don't use robotics. We have craftsmen. I employ craftsmen that can build anything, and they take great pride in what they do. And we have a world class mentality. You don't have to be a multi-billion-dollar corporation to think world class. You can think world class in everything you do, and whether that's dealing with customers, whether that's building products, it's across our company. We try to think world class.
and you're doing it. You've been doing it forever, but And you were telling me a really good story earlier about how that has trickled down, and the whole staff has taken that mentality that you're definitely world class. And there's not a doubt in my mind that's what you are instilling and creating. And mark my words, there's going to be a time that you are going to be one of those billion-dollar companies, and I see it coming. I do.
Well,
It's
I hope so. It's not our primary focus, that's for sure. Listen, I was very fortunate to step into a company that had at the time, 34-year trajectory of building great stuff, taking care of their customers. Like to your point, do what we say and say what we do, and we want to continue that, right? And it's hard to have a growth mentality without the right people.
mm,
Um, People often ask me what's been the greatest thing about becoming an entrepreneur, and it's always the people. Not only our dealer customers and our end user customers, of course, but it's the people we employ and the pride they take in our work and the pride they take in our brand. We sitting had T-shirts made, and the guy got stopped 3 different times at a park when he was walking, just asking, "Well, what do you do and where do you build that?" And I'm thinking, we're a hot tub company. Like that's where people know us for, is making hot tub products. And so they take great pride in that, and I take great pride in those people, because without them we would not be who we are. And so we're going to continue that drive, and we're going to continue that focus to provide for hopefully another 30 years great products and great customer service, and all done by craftsmen and great people.
well, it's I'm excited to see where this goes. And
Cool.
my goal is to help everyone become a happy hot tub owner. This is one of those products that I know will make you a happy hot tub owner. So if you've got the chance, definitely check them out. Again, I'll throw that website up one more time. It's
Cool.
A&BAccessories.com. You guys definitely want to check that out. And if you're a retailer, get in touch with Ryan. He would love to help you out. I know that you will not regret putting these products on your floor. You will, I promise you won't. I've been selling them for years, and it's a good thing.
Cool.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Right, we are going to wrap this up. Believe it or not, that was an hour already. I knew you and I would have no problems at all.
No.
So no, I wasn't worried about that at all. But guys, make sure you pick up a copy of the book, Hot Tub Clarity. You can find that on Amazon. Join the private Facebook page, Clean Your Filter. That's getting bigger and bigger all the time. And I totally appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you next week. Have a good week. If I can find. Okay, I think.